It's the last race of the 2019 Formula One season, and we are gearing up for the last race. It's Abu Dhabi, and everything is still to play for. So Formula One comes to Abu Dhabi on the back of what was the most exciting Grand Prix of the season in Brazil. Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz graced the podium with drama happening all around the field. After 10 months of racing, this is the final round of the season here under the setting sun of Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton is already the 2019 champion with his teammate Valtteri Bottas confirmed in second. The battle for third is heating up between Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel, the two Ferraris on the back foot after their collision in Brazil. Sixth is also a battle. The two first-time podium scorers of Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz are level on 95 points, and behind them they have Albon in the Red Bull chasing them down. And from Ricciardo all the way to Kvyat in 14th place is the battle for 9th. Below that is Stroll, Magnussen and Giovinazzi battling for 15th, with Grosjean, Kubica and Russell out of any battles. In the Constructors' Championship, the top 4 places are already confirmed, with Mercedes crowned champions for the 6th year running, with Ferrari second, Red Bull third, and brilliant news with McLaren confirming 4th place with their first podium since 2014, last time out in Brazil. The big team battle to watch out for is between Renault and Toro Rosso for 5th place in the championship, with Racing Point having a massive outside chance of getting 5th. In fact, it's more likely Racing Point will focus on retaining 7th place from Alfa Romeo, with only 10 points back in 8th place. The bottom half of the table has also been decided, with Haas finishing 9th and Williams with 10th. No matter how many points they score, they will remain in the same positions at the end of the season. And joining me for the final time in 2019 on the Sunday preview are two commentators, Megan Birch and Ian Birch. Good afternoon, Dad. First of all, qualifying yesterday, Lewis Hamilton finally back on pole position for the first time since Germany, but Valtteri Bottas has sat at the back of the grid. What are Mercedes' chances at a victory today?
Very, very good. But also, just because Valtteri is at the back of the grid, the reason he crashed, he says, is because of the fact that he decided to practice overtaking people during practice.
Didn't end up too well.
That's what it's for.
Oh yeah, practice makes perfect. But Megan, you like Abu Dhabi as a circuit. It's the only one that you're good at the game. It's not really an overtaking spot. Is tyres going to be a big factor today, with it being a one-stop or a two-stop race?
I personally think it's going to be a one-stop race, and I think tyres will be a big issue today.
Yesterday in qualifying, Dad, we had Sebastian Vettel sort of hold up Charles Leclerc. Leclerc not being able to do a faster run, but he starts third on the grid today. Vettel starts 4th. Your thoughts on that after what happened in Brazil?
Well, you can't say, can you, really?
No. Do you think Vettel did it deliberately?
I won't put it past him.
Neither would I.
He, like all racing drivers, once he gets behind that wheel, he's ruthless.
Megan, team orders, a big factor in Formula One, especially at Ferrari. Is Vettel playing the team game, or is he playing his own game?
Own game.
Who do you think is going to be the top dog here this afternoon, not outside the top 3? We've got a lot to do in the Constructors' Championship, especially with Renault and Toro Rosso. You're going McLaren?
McLaren.
Megan, who's going to finish 5th in the Constructors, Renault or Toro Rosso? They've only got a few points between them.
Renault.
Who's going to top in the Drivers' Championship as well, Dan? Because we've got Sainz and Gasly on 95 points each in the Drivers' Championship. Ricciardo
comes 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
Or even 5th or 6th.
5th or 6th, yeah. Oh, with the battle for thirds, I'm getting back to that in a minute.
Yeah, well, you know, it's going to be somebody like Sainz.
He had a podium last time out, of course.
Yeah, Sainz is doing well at the moment, but also, right, the rookies that have come in this year have done fantastic.
George Russell, Lando Norris, Alexander Albon, all performing way out their average.
Albon and Russell didn't win the championship last year. Russell's got a really bad car, but the other two, right, Albon and Lando, right? Who would have thought they would? It's like when in football when you come up into the football league from championship from the conference, and the two teams either do really really well or really really badly, and the vast majority of the time they do really really well. And people say about Hulkenberg, right? But he's had his day. He's been there a long time.
About 10 years.
Yeah, and a lot of the drivers that are in the feeder series are actually better drivers. They haven't got the experience, but they're better drivers. They're more exciting than a lot of these on the lower part of the grid, and that's why I think Robert's gone.
Yeah, well, we know that Latifi's coming in next year as well. Giotto hasn't got a drive for next year in any of the FIA categories. Megan, this weekend, final commentary for us two this weekend, going into the summer break, because me and Dad will still be doing commentaries throughout the off-season. We'll probably do MotoGP as well. We usually end up doing something. You, however, won't be back until Australia. So, what are you looking for today in terms of racing? Because last time I was in Brazil, me and Dad had an absolute cracker. We lost our voice completely. What are you looking for in terms of today's race, with it being end of term?
With end of term, I don't want any red flags. I want maybe 2 at most safety cars, and I kind of want about 3 drivers to be out. So I want someone unexpected to get into the top 3.
Let's see if that can happen, Dad.
I've looked at my contract and it doesn't say anything.
Well, no contract though, but we'll see, as Megan says. Right then, you two, I want prediction.
It's my manager.
Megan?
That's why I said we'll see.
Oh dear, it's already started. But we've still got you two with us next year as well. Right, end of the season. Let's just take a quick look at what happened in qualifying. It was a very dramatic session, so let's take a look at qualifying now. Right, let's get then into the qualifying report for the 2019 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the last qualifying of the season. And let's start as ever with qualifying 1. Mercedes impress as Alfa Romeo struggle. The session was barely a few minutes old when, out of the side of the commentary box window, Martin Brundle noticed a Ferrari sideways, and it was Sebastian Vettel. He just ran a little bit too wide into the last corner, got on the AstroTurf, and round he went. It wasn't exactly the best situation for the Ferrari, because that was the start of his fast run on soft compound tyres. A bad session for him. He got going again, clocked a lap time on flat spotted tyres, good enough to see him through to the next part of qualifying. Hamilton looked to turn a corner with his speed in free practice 3 and stepped it up again when qualifying got underway. Topped the times in qualifying 1 as well, with enough fuel for a series of laps, of hot laps as well, with the confidence that the tyres would hold up. Grosjean had a close save with Danny Kvyat when the Toro Rosso was released in front of him in the pit lane. Grosjean having to dive to the left and almost spinning in the pit lane, which would have caused an immediate red flag. The Frenchman looked best of the rest for much of the weekend, but unfortunately he was eliminated in qualifying 1. He was joined in taking an early break and an early non-alcoholic drink, because we're in Abu Dhabi, with the alphas of Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen, but George Russell completing a complete season dominance of Robert Kubica in terms of qualifying. Russell now on 21, Kubica 0, and Russell winning the qualifying head-to-head battles. So eliminated in qualifying 1 was Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Russell and Kubica. Let's take a look at the qualifying 2 then. And the front runners, apart from Vettel, qualify on the medium compound tyre. Sebastian Vettel, the only one of the top front runners to qualify on the soft compounds. Everybody else going for the harder medium compound tyre as well. Mercedes, Red Bull and Leclerc set their times on the medium tyre. Vettel did his on the soft and only managed 4th place overall as well. And we'll start Sunday's race on more durable rubber as well, so watch out for the front runners. Hulkenberg potentially racing in his last ever Formula 1 Grand Prix this weekend with Renault, having failed to get a seat next year, popped in a time in the closing stages that got him into the top 10, a fraction behind Danny Ricciardo, his teammate. That's the first time both Renaults have made Q3 since Russia 5 races ago. Sergio Perez just missed out. He was P11 overall, ahead of Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll, Danny Kvyat and Kevin Magnussen, all eliminated from qualifying. But the interesting point was that both of the McLarens got through to Q3, because that qualifying battle currently stands at 10-10 with Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz. So it's all to play for in qualifying 3. On to qualifying 3's report then, and it was absolutely fantastic news for Lewis Hamilton. For the first time since the German Grand Prix back in July, 9 races ago, he has taken pole position. He's now 20 pole positions clear of Michael Schumacher in the all-time standing list. Unbelievable. This is 5 minutes ago he matched Schumacher in Belgium. They had a front row lockout, did Mercedes, but Valtteri Bottas has to start from the back of the grid with a new power unit, so that means that Max Verstappen now takes second. Ferrari had a little bit of an interesting battle as well. Charles Leclerc missed the final checkered flags and couldn't set a faster lap time. He blamed Sebastian Vettel over the radio, but Vettel himself was held up by the Toro Rosso as well and the Renaults, so nothing really either one could have done. But Vettel didn't improve, so Leclerc wins that teammate battle and outqualifies Sebastian Vettel 12-9. Meanwhile, further down, Verstappen onto the front row of the grid. Albon starts on row 3 for the 5th consecutive race as well. But the biggest news actually came from the McLaren, that heated battle to see who would be the top qualifier in 2019. It came into this race 10-10 to Norris and Sainz. It ended with Sainz unable to beat Lando Norris's time. So Lando Norris on 11, Carlos Sainz now on 10. Lando Norris wins the McLaren team qualifying battle of the year. But we've got Hamilton on the front row, once again a Mercedes pole position, and we've got Max Verstappen on the front row as well. It's going to be an interesting qualifying. The two Ferraris just behind them as well. An interesting Grand Prix ahead of us. Let's take a look at the final starting grid. So Lewis Hamilton starts on pole position for the last race of the season, ending a 9-race drought. It's Max Verstappen alongside him on row 1. Row 2 is an all-Ferrari affair. Charles Leclerc 3rd, with Sebastian Vettel 4th. Row 3, Alexander Albon and Lando Norris. Row 4, Danny Ricciardo and Carlos Sainz. Row 5, Nico Hülkenberg in his last Grand Prix alongside Sergio Perez. Row 6, Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll. Row 7, Danny Kvyat and Kevin Magnussen. Row 8 sees Romain Grosjean and Antonio Giovinazzi. Row 9, Kimi Räikkönen and George Russell. And Row 10, Robbie Kubica and Valtteri Bottas having to start the race back of the grid for a new power unit. So Hamilton on pole position once again. He's now 20 positions clear of Michael Schumacher in the pole position standings. That's a remarkable achievement. And I know we keep saying about Lewis Hamilton this year, but he's been a cut above everybody.
He's always been a cut above everybody. Like someone said the other day that Leclerc has come in and done so well in his first season and challenged for the top spot. The last time that happened was Lewis.
Yeah.
You know, and that shows how brilliant the guy is.
Megan, Valtteri Bottas 2.0. He's had a bit of a rough weekend. He has to start from the back of the grid, had a crash in practice, personal things as well getting in his way.
Well, Lewis did.
And Lewis did, yeah.
Lewis had to sit through Frozen 2 the other day with his niece and nephew.
I bet that was a torture.
No, he says he loves it.
Oh, well, that's okay.
I find it torture.
Megan, what...
Just let it go, please. Let it go.
There's the end of the season stuff.
Funny.
Megan, we stood here 2 years ago in 2017 and thought, well, the championship's over, Vettel and Hamilton, it's all been settled now. It's still going on. But next season, do you think Bottas will sort of come back? I mean, we were surprised this year that he won in Australia and he came back with such mentality. You've been saying all year about how a Finnish driver who was won the first race has always gone on to win the title. Do you think he's going to come back next year stronger?
I think at the start he might be a bit weaker, though steadily as the year progresses he'll get really much stronger.
All right then.
He should be single-minded because he is single again.
Yes, there we go. There's another joke. Right, it's the 1st of December today as well. The latest the championship has ever finished.
Sorry for him.
I do, yeah, Bottas.
And his wife. You know, it's horrible.
It is. It really is as well.
I know what it's like. I mean, to not not divorce and things like that, but people don't know that I've been ill for 4 years.
Yes, and remarkably well that you've actually come on the show this year as
You
well.
forced me.
Yeah, I know. You can't see. The reason he's got his hands up at the back.
I love to do things with my children. Yeah.
We have a lot of fun. I think we've had a lot of fun this season as well.
We're doing some digging later.
Yes.
Ground's nice and soft.
Oh dear.
We have a graveyard outside our house.
Yes, it's just out the side where the commentary box. Don't pull the lead. Don't pull the lead.
Remind me to run away to Mexico.
Yeah, because they say bury the opposition, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Things like that. Right, and you two are the opposition.
Well, you will, both of you will be back later on this evening.
My show next year.
Yes, it might be. Well, I'm hoping that you two will come on a lot more. I'm hoping you two will come a lot more.
I just enjoy doing this with my kids.
It's
Even
fun.
if we annoy him.
Yeah, they annoy me, all right.
Yes, well, it's fun. We've enjoyed
You
it.
annoy us.
Oh dear, here we go. It's a tit for tat.
When you've got a manager like her, you lose.
All the time.
Okay, right. Let's just quickly wrap up because we've got to get going. Can we save this?
You
to wrap up now.
You started to lose the day I was born.
Oh, here we go again. Yeah, well, let's save this for the season wrap show tonight, which is on at 7 o'clock on YouTube. It will be premiering as well as these two are doing devil eyes at each other. Do you know, we've only now. Not many people know this. We don't actually all stand in the same commentary box. Usually, when it's Tuesday, it's me and Megan in the commentary box, and you're race control watching everything with this mic. But we've only actually all shared the commentary box this year once, and that was in Belgium in a practice session.
Never again.
Never again, because do you know why? It's such a small desk.
I made a point to get out of there quick.
Yeah, it was cold, and is that
summer?
Yeah. Well, you've been in the commentary box with me for Japan. We did that race in the commentary
I've
box.
done it on my own as well for
You've
practice.
practice this year as well. Not many know that you've done practice. Megan's done practice. I've done practice. It's been a bit of a new year, really, hasn't it?
Style. And welcome to the Grand Prix.
He does it very old-fashioned. You've done some sessions, but it is the end. No, it's a many.
And I hand you over now to young Mary Walker.
Thank you. I take that one. Right, it's the end of the year. Many people will probably want to tune in for the end of the season wrap show. I want your moment of the year in terms of broadcasting.
This is my moment. I think when I left and went through the door.
Oh, I remember that one. It was at Italy.
Yeah, I've got to go now.
Yeah, and just walked off.
I just walked off and went to the things.
Megan, broadcasting moment of the year?
What, like us lot?
Us three, yeah, standing.
Songs?
Yeah, songs. We do songs in the commentary box.
Hearing your answers, Meg.
I think my moment of the year is actually during a commentary, and I nearly fell backwards into the back of a commentary box.
When was that?
I think it was. We were filming it.
I think British Grand Prix could have been.
Yeah.
I think it was British Grand Prix. Yeah.
I nearly fell backwards and fell off my chair.
It was the British Grand Prix. Yeah, it was.
I've got this fishing wire.
Ah, so you pulled
The back of their chair.
You pulled it.
Onto pulleys, right? And it goes all the way down and into the house and right into where I'm sat. And when she knows me, I just go yank.
My moment of the year was actually when we all stood outside, did the British Grand Prix Sunday preview show, and you made a joke about how it's the British Grand Prix at Silverstone.
Oh, you should have told me.
Yeah.
On my T-shirt.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sign up.
I enjoyed that one. What about you?
And then I spotted some mistakes.
On the
Yeah.
yeah. I think that was my moment of the year.
On the T-shirt, yeah, because they've got the actual list of the corners and
Yeah. Wrong order.
wrong order.
Right, that's it then. Let's just take a quick look then around Abu Dhabi to get your eye in ready for the Grand Prix. Let's take a look around this 5.554 kilometre circuit. A lap record of a 1:42.79 set in the race. Into turn 1. Light on the brakes, fourth gear, get the power on early. Turn 2, uphill, flat out segment. Turn 3, just trying to avoid the apex as much as possible. Stick to the middle of the track before coming into turn 4. A heavy braking spot, 70 metres from the corner. Drop down to second, get the power on mid-corner as we approach now the hairpin of turn number 7. Get the tight middle apex line, fire it down now, all the way down this kilometre-long back straight. Open up the DRS and just sort of get ready for the eventual braking zone. It just sings to you. This car, 3, 2, 1. Hit the brakes at about 110 metres down to second gear. Hard on the corners. You come into turn 8 and 9. A little bit of oversteer as you rise up the hill mid-corner, past the support pit lane at turn 10. Second DRS zone is open now as you hurtle down towards turn 11, start the third sector. Hard on the brakes down all the way, third gear. Missed the apex a little bit, but it comes nicely back to you for the chicane at 12 and 13. Turn 14 next up, drop down third gear, and on my favourite part of the track, turns 15, 16 to the braking zone of 17. Full throttle, flick the car in, hard on the brakes into turn 17, drop all the way down to third gear, throw the car in on full opposite lock as you come underneath the Yaz Hotel at turn 18. 19 next up. A lot of cars like to throw in the barrier here in Formula 2. Can't see much of that in Formula 1. Turn 20 and 21, the last two corners on the track. Get it right, we spat off into the wall. No braking zone, so you have to pick red marker coming to the last corner and fire it to the line. And that is a lap of the Yas Marina circuit in the Renault for 2019. Right, we'll all be back then later on this evening for the season wrap show. That'll be broadcasting at 7 o'clock, where we'll all choose our moments of the year, best race, best driver, that sort of thing, and just generally have sort of a forum type, honest, open discussion. But we've loved bringing Formula 1 to you this year in 2019. It's been a hell of a year. Let's hope we can have a great final race as well.
I've been practicing for that.
What? Into the race?
Show.
The rap show. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, kill me now.
We'll save that for the rap show, because we've really got to go off here.
No. Here's a
Here's
new song of Joshua and Megan. They all want to go to
Come truck? You lost that one.
McDonald's.
McDonald's, yeah. That's been another top highlight this year, isn't it? Yeah. Right, we'll be back later on for the season wrap show, but it's been a pleasure this season as well. We'll be back in 2020 for more action. Join us later on tonight, though. But from us, all three of us here, it's goodbye from 2019.
Bye.
He's off again.